Most people do not fail because they lack intelligence. They fail because they think too much, too early. They analyze before acting. They optimize before starting. They debate before moving. In modern societies, overthinking is often mistaken for depth. Hesitation is framed as wisdom, and endless preparation is rewarded socially, even when it produces nothing. China approaches this problem very differently, not with motivation, not with mindset, but with structure. Because in the Chinese system, thinking is not eliminated, it is postponed, and that delay changes everything. In the West, action is expected to follow understanding. You are encouraged to first ask why, then how, then whether this aligns with your identity. Only then are you allowed to execute. This creates a psychological bottleneck. Every step requires cognitive approval, every action is filtered through doubt, and every mistake feels personal. China reverses this order. Execution comes first, understanding comes later. Identity is irrelevant. You move even when you do not feel ready. You repeat even when you do not feel inspired. You comply with the process before you agree with it. This is not accidental, it is engineered. The core Chinese hack is mechanical obedience to process, not motivation, not inspiration, not constant optimization. Instead of asking, is this the best way? The system asks, is this the correct sequence? Instead of asking, do I feel confident? The system asks, did you repeat it enough times? This shift matters more than it seems, because it removes the internal debate that slows most people down. There is no second guessing, no comparison, no paralysis caused by too many options. When the task is predefined, timed, and mandatory, overthinking has nowhere to hide. You are not invited to improvise. You are not encouraged to personalize. You are instructed to execute. And that instruction is not negotiable. Compliance comes first. Understanding comes later, confidence comes last. Now consider how skills are actually taught. A Chinese student does not explore multiple methods early on. They are given one method, often an old one, often unfashionable, often inefficient by modern standards, and then they repeat it, relentlessly. A math student solves thousands of near-identical problems long after the pattern is obvious. A calligraphy student copies the same character for years, refining strokes no one else notices. A factory worker performs the same motion tens of thousands of times until the body no longer needs instruction. From the outside, this looks rigid. It looks inefficient. It looks creatively suffocating. But something critical is happening beneath the surface. Error is being burned out early. Execution is being automated. The body and brain are being synchronized to the task. By the time freedom arrives, the foundation is unbreakable. Overthinking thrives on choice. The moment multiple options appear, the brain stops executing and starts simulating. It runs futures in parallel. It asks which path leads to less regret, which choice protects status and self-image, which outcome feels safest if things go wrong. This is not intelligence, it is cognitive drag. The Chinese system removes choice entirely. One task, one method, one correct output. No alternatives to compare. No styles to experiment with. No room for preference masquerading as strategy. This collapses mental branching. The decision tree shrinks to a straight line. There is nothing to optimize because optimization is postponed. Nothing to debate because debate is irrelevant. Nothing to personalize because personality is noise at this stage. What remains is repetition. Cold, unemotional, uncreative. And repetition is hostile to anxiety. Anxiety feeds on uncertainty. Repetition feeds on certainty. Each cycle confirms what comes next. The brain stops asking questions and starts conserving energy. When action is predictable, fear loses leverage. When progress is mechanical, doubt has no role. And when execution becomes routine, momentum replaces motivation. This is not about suppressing thought forever. It is about sequencing it correctly. This is why execution accelerates, not because people become smarter, but because the brain stops wasting energy on decision-making. When choice is removed, cognition is freed. Mental bandwidth that would have gone to comparison, doubt, and self-monitoring is reallocated to something far more productive. Motor learning and error correction. The system is no longer asking, "What should I do?" It is asking, how close was that to correct? And that shift changes everything. Mistakes are not interpreted as failure. They are treated as signal noise. Data points to be filtered out through repetition. There is no emotional narrative attached to them, no moral judgment, no story about talent, intelligence, or potential. You are not bad at this. You are simply not yet precise. That distinction matters more than it appears, because overthinking feeds on identity threat. The moment performance feels like a referendum on who you are, hesitation emerges. Ego interferes. Fear tightens execution. Remove identity from the equation, and hesitation collapses. When error is impersonal, correction becomes fast. When failure has no psychological weight, iteration speeds up. And when progress is measured mechanically rather than emotionally, execution compounds. This is not harshness for its own sake. It is efficiency, a system designed to protect momentum by stripping away everything that slows it down. This logic scales beyond individuals. It applies to systems, institutions, and entire civilizations. It explains why Chinese infrastructure projects begin before consensus is complete, why pilot programs launch before models are perfect, why correction is preferred over delay. Movement generates information. Stillness generates speculation. Action reveals constraints. Friction exposes reality. Feedback only appears once something is moving. China institutionalized this insight. Action is not treated as a reward for certainty. Certainty is treated as a byproduct of action. You move first. You observe consequences. You adjust in motion. Errors are not denied. They are absorbed, corrected, and overwritten by the next iteration. Now compare this with Western execution culture. Western systems emphasize alignment, stakeholder buy-in, consensus building, emotional readiness. These values are humane, they are thoughtful, they are morally attractive, but they carry a hidden cost. They slow momentum. Decisions wait for agreement. Projects wait for comfort. Action waits for reassurance. And in environments where speed compounds advantage, slowness is not neutral, it is expensive. Delay accumulates opportunity cost. Indecision hands initiative to whoever is willing to move with incomplete information. This is not an argument about morality, it is an argument about dynamics. In fast-moving domains, execution speed becomes strategy. Those who move first do not win because they are flawless. They win because they are learning while others are still discussing whether learning should begin. The Chinese hack does not eliminate thinking, it sequences it. Think after repetition, reflect after execution, optimize after momentum exists. This sequencing is why Chinese learners often appear average in the early stages. There is no visible creativity, no expressive flair, no early signs of brilliance. Then suddenly they outperform. The learning curve is delayed, but it is steeper. Early progress is hidden because it is structural. Foundations are being laid below the surface. By the time expression appears, it rests on automation, not effort. So what can you extract from this without adopting the entire system? First, remove choice from the early phase. Define one method and follow it blindly for a fixed duration. Do not compare. Do not customize. Do not improve prematurely. Second, standardize your actions. Same time, same place, same procedure. Make execution boring on purpose. Boredom is a signal that decision-making has been removed. Third, detach performance from identity. Treat mistakes as mechanical deviations, not personal flaws. An error is not a verdict, it is a coordinate. Fourth, set execution quotas instead of outcome goals. Repetitions, not results. Volume before validation. And most importantly, forbid reflection until after motion. No journaling, no optimization, no lessons learned. Just movement. Because reflection without momentum produces insight theater. Movement without reflection produces data. And data, once accumulated, makes thinking cheap, precise, and finally useful. Overthinking is not a personality trait. It is a structural problem. People do not stall because they are weak, indecisive, or intellectually flawed. They stall because the systems around them reward contemplation more than execution. They reward caution over movement. They reward explanation over iteration. When thinking is praised and acting is penalized, hesitation becomes rational. China built systems that do the opposite. Systems that punish stalling. Systems where delay carries cost. Systems where motion is expected, measured, and enforced. As a result, movement becomes the default. Not because people are braver, not because they are smarter, but because the environment removes the option to linger. Thinking becomes optional. Execution becomes inevitable. When action is mandatory, psychology follows structure. Momentum replaces motivation. Routine replaces willpower. Progress happens without needing constant self-belief. Zoom out far enough, and the implication is uncomfortable. The future will not belong to those with the most insight. Insight is abundant. Analysis is cheap. The future will belong to those who convert insight into motion the fastest. Those who act before certainty feels complete. Those who learn by moving rather than predicting. In a world where speed compounds advantage, clarity is not a prerequisite for action. It is a consequence of it. And sometimes the fastest way to think clearly is to stop thinking and start moving. That is the Chinese hack.